Dear Patriots, before the news starts, please subscribe to our patriotic channel by clicking the subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up to this video. Don't forget to leave your opinion below in the comments section. Share the news on Facebook and Twitter so you friends see it. Thank you.
Rabid Jeb Bush just came after all of Trump's kids, they make him immediately regret it. In 2016, the political establishment thought they had their two presidential frontrunners in Jeb Bush and Hillary Clinton. The political elitists would have been fine if either of these candidates won the election, since they both would have toed the party lines and kept the status quo in place that has damaged our nation over the last several decades. As both parties prepared for a Bush versus Clinton race, Donald Trump threw his hat into the ring, turning the political world upside down. However, instead of these so-called Americans standing behind our newly elected president for the betterment of our nation, both of these sore losers have been doing what they can to resist the Trump agenda. Now, Jeb Bush has taken his childish antics one step further by taking a swipe at President Trump's kids, and they immediately made him regret it. There was a time in our nation's history that when someone lost a presidential election, they would still gather around the winner for the love of country. Sadly, those days seem to be far behind us, as many of the losers in the 2016 presidential election are still holding a grudge and doing their best to create as much division they can in an already fractured nation. For the past year, the left and many never-Trumpers have been working hard to undermine Trump and his Make America Great Again agenda, even going as far as to attack his family. So, it was no surprise when Jeb Bush decided to do just that in a recent interview I ironically called A Conversation with Jeb Bush, Restoring Conservatism in America. After Jeb Bush lost the primaries, everyone hoped he would slink off into retirement and leave the country alone. Though instead of doing that, the youngest Bush re-emerged from his hole recently to take swipes at President Trump and his family. Earlier this week at a lecture at Yale University, an angry Jeb Bush appeared to mock President Donald Trump over his relationship with his children. The former Florida governor stated that after rapidly losing the 2016 GOP primary in South Carolina, he said that he went home to children who love him. Well, if Jeb Bush thought that Trump's children would not take issue with this disrespectful comment, he was wrong, and they came out swinging to defend their father and their close relationship. Before I show you what happened with Jeb on Twitter, please be reminded of the time Jeb had to beg for an applause. Here is more about the Trump vs. Bush debacle from New York Post. Former Republican presidential candidate Jeb Bush apparently mocked President Trump's relationship with his family during a speech at Yale University and was quickly corrected by two of the president's sons. Bush, the son of former President George H.W. Bush and brother of former President George W. Bush, said he returned home after the 2016 primary race in South Carolina to children who actually love me, without mentioning Trump during a lecture Tuesday at Yale University. The crowd responded with wild applause, and many audience members told the Yale Daily News they understood the reference to Trump. Two of Trump's sons shot back at Bush on Twitter, with Donald Trump Jr. proclaiming his love for his father and taking a shot at the former GOP candidate. Jeb: I love everything about my father. I love that he's a fighter, I love that he has guts, I love that he's president, all those things you're not, Trump Jr. posted late Wednesday night on Twitter. Also love that he learned enough about politics in a few weeks to dismantle you piece by piece despite it being your life's work. Eric Trump also defended his father. At Jeb Bush: I actually love my father very much. #please clap, he said. During the Republican primary, Trump often rode Bush, who dropped out of the race after the South Carolina primary in February 2016, as low-energy Jeb. Bush also joked that he didn't want to speak about the primary race, saying, "I'm still in therapy." In case you were not too sure what Eric Trump was referencing in his #please clap, here is a little reminder for you. It is a pretty low blow for Jeb Bush to come after Trump's kids in this way when it is widely known how much they adore their father. Now, no one is saying that Jeb Bush cannot be upset over his loss, but let's be honest here, to go after Trump and his kids' relationship is pretty pathetic. If Jeb Bush truly cared about this country and restoring it back to its former glory, he would rally behind Trump and not try to cause any more issues. However, since it is evident that is not his intention, then he needs to sit down and let the grown-ups fix the problems all his predecessors made, and that is one heck of a mess. Breaking Operation Matador leaves over 475 arrested. Look where they got them. Joint Operation nets 24 transnational gang members, 475 total arrests under Operation Matador. New York 24 were arrested Thursday under Operation Matador, the intelligence-driven, unified effort to combat the proliferation of MS-13 and other transnational criminal gang activity in Long Island, the New York City metropolitan area and Hudson Valley. This brings the total arrested under this initiative to 475. Operation Matador, operating under the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, DHS, Transnational Organized Crime Initiative, DHS-TOSI, was launched by U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement's, ICE, Homeland Security Investigations, HSI, New York along with ICE Enforcement and Removal Operations, ERO. This joint initiative is comprised of HSI special agents, ERO deportation officers and the ICE Office of Principal Legal Advisor, OPLA, U.S. Customs and Border Protection, CBP, U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, UCIS, and state and local law enforcement partners to include Suffolk County Police Department, SCPD, Nassau County Police Department, NCPD, and the Hempstead Police Department. The DHS-TOSI is responsible for identifying, interdicting and investigating a wide variety of transnational border crime with a concentration on MS-13 gang activity. Operation Matador sends a clear message to violent street gangs that there are consequences for their actions. Since this operation began last year, we have seen a decrease in the amount of violent crime directly related to MS-13 and other transnational gangs, said ICE Deputy Director Thomas D. Homan. That is a direct result of the strong partnerships between ICE Homeland Security Investigations, local law enforcement, and our community partners in support of a common goal, targeting and dismantling transnational criminal organizations. We will not rest until our communities are safe and these dangerous individuals are brought to justice. U.S. Customs and Border Protection is extremely proud to have assisted in this operation, said Leon Hayward, Acting Director, New York Field Office. It is through our interagency partnerships and collaborative approaches like the one leading to today's arrests, that law enforcement successfully combats modern criminal organizations. U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services New York District and New York Asylum Offices are proud of the role we played in investigations leading to the arrests of violent gang members who have plagued Nassau and Suffolk counties, said Thomas M. Schiappa, UCIS New York District Director. We will continue to support Immigration and Customs Enforcement and our other state and local partners in any issues concerning public safety or national security. I would like to congratulate all of the associated agencies and their investigators on their dedication and relentless pursuit to ensure that all of our residents and communities are safe from the violence that these gangs promote, said Patrick Ryder, Commissioner of Police for NCPD. The arrests should send a strong message to all gangs that we will not tolerate their unlawfulness and intimidation. Our agencies will continue to collaborate to decrease the violence that is associated with these gangs. Operation Matador results since May 2017. A total of 475 individuals were arrested during this ongoing enforcement effort, most of which were confirmed as gang members and affiliates. The most prominent gangs with arrests during this operation were MS-13 with 274 arrests and the 18th Street Gang with 15 arrests. This operation yielded 227 total criminal arrests and 248 administrative arrests. Of the gang members arrested during this ongoing enforcement action, 80 had additional criminal histories, including prior convictions for assault and weapons charges. 5 are facing serious criminal charges. Others taken into custody during the operation included an MS-13 member from El Salvador who admitted to killing rival gang members at the age of 12 in his home country and assimilated to the gang on Long Island, involved in criminal activity was arrested and deported. An El Salvador national wanted, pursuant to an Interpol red notice for killing law enforcement in El Salvador. An MS-13 member arrested in Brentwood admitted to killing 3 gang members in El Salvador at the age of 13. An 18th Street gang member as part of this enforcement operation yielded a handgun that was likely going to be used against a rival gang. The arrestees, 462 male and 13 female, included nationals from 10 countries: El Salvador, 199, Honduras, 56, Mexico, 31, Guatemala, 27, Ecuador, 05, Dominican Republic, 21, and St. Lucia, 1. Nassau County accounted for 210 arrests, the largest number of arrests during this operation to date, but DHS TOSA personnel conducted enforcement actions in multiple communities throughout Long Island, New York City and the Hudson Valley area. 99 individuals arrested during this operation crossed the border as unaccompanied minors, all of which were confirmed as MS-13 gang members. 64 individuals arrested during this operation obtained Special Immigrant Juvenile Status, SIJ, after entering the country, all of which were confirmed as MS-13 gang members. Of the 99 UACs, 64 had such status. Of those arrested during this ongoing operation, 65 have been ordered released from ICE detention by an immigration judge. 4 have been rearrested for local criminal charges. It is important to note that not all evidence is presented before an immigration judge for a detention hearing. Some evidence is withheld in order to safeguard the integrity of law enforcement's investigative techniques and protect concurrent or future investigations. Some of the individuals arrested during the enforcement action will be presented for federal prosecution for re-entry after deportation, a federal felony. Those not being criminally prosecuted will be processed for removal from the country. Individuals who have outstanding orders of deportation, or who return to the United States illegally after being deported, are subject to immediate removal from the country on federal charges. The remaining arrestees are entered into immigration proceedings and will go before an immigration judge. To date, a total of 70 have received a final order of removal issued by an immigration judge and have been removed from the United States to their home countries. Partnerships are key to this ongoing effort in combating transnational gangs. Special thanks to the Hempstead Police Department, New York National Guard, NYNG, Counter Drug Task Force, Drug Enforcement Administrations, DEA, Long Island District Office, U.S. Border Patrol, Westchester County District Attorney's Office, Rockland County Sheriff, Rockland County Intelligence Center, Piermont Police Department, Ulster County Sheriff, and Sullivan County Sheriff. Operation Matador in New York is conducted under the auspices of the National Gang Enforcement Effort, Operation Community Shield. About Operation Community Shield and MS-13. As part of Operation Community Shield, HSI has effected nearly 5,000 criminal arrests and more than 3,200 civil immigration arrests of MS-13 leaders, members and associates, including criminal arrests for racketeering, influence, corrupt organizations, RICO, violent crime and aid of racketeering, VICR, and gang conspiracy violations investigated by HSI New York, HSI Long Island, HSI Baltimore, HSI DC, HSI Charlotte, HSI Newark, HSI Boston, HSI San Francisco, HSI San Jose, HSI Los Angeles, HSI Detroit, HSI Nashville, HSI Houston, and our state and local law enforcement partners. In October 2012, HSI worked with the U.S. Department of Treasury's Office of Foreign Assets Control to designate MS-13 as the first transnational criminal street gang as a TCO. As a result of the designation, any property or property interests in the United States, or in the possession or control of U.S. persons in which MS-13 has an interest, are blocked. HSI's National Gang Unit. HSI's National Gang Unit oversees HSI's expansive transnational gang portfolio and enables special agents to bring the fight to these criminal enterprises through the development of uniform enforcement and intelligence sharing strategies. To report suspicious activity, Call ICE's 24-hour toll-free hotline at 1-800-6060-HS2-ICE or visit www.ice.gov. Source ICE. God bless. Together we will make America great again. God bless.